Some guys really like Batman, and they had an epiphany. So they all got to work on the next Batman movie. And now they are the heroes, and you get to follow along. They're bringing him to life every week after this song. Batman, Project Batman, Project Batman. Fuck yeah.
It's recording.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's
the mic hot.
That's
hot mic. It's hot mic.
That's how he usually starts. Is that he starts without telling anybody, and we're usually on record for about 2 minutes before we realize it's time to get started.
About black people. Hey, that's your intro. There you go. You win. Just cut it from there.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be the title of this one.
About black people. Project Batman about black people.
Batman's black.
He could be.
He's a black cape.
Well, you've never seen him.
He's a Dark Knight.
Black guy together.
Do you think there'd be outrage if the next Batman was black?
Definitely.
Probably. There was crazy outrage that they even suggested that, like a fan suggested Donald Glover be Spider-Man, and Donald Glover would be like, "Hey, that's cool." And then there was shit tons of backlash on Twitter against Donald Glover for being black and wanting to be Spider-Man. So yeah, there'd be backlash.
I'm pretty sure
there'd be blacklash.
I'm pretty sure in the current Spider-Man comics he's gay and blaxican.
I thought he was just black. Is he blaxican? Is that even a thing?
No. He's. I think he's blaxican, and I think Batgirl is a transsexual.
I know Green Lantern's gay.
Batgirl has a dick, or Batgirl wants to have a dick.
Batgirl
Which way?
has a penis.
Then it's
Batgirl was like
Batboy, not Batgirl.
No, it dresses as a girl. It's like.
Are you sure about this? This sounds improbable in the DC universe.
Yeah,
Of course, Grant Morrison did kill Batman, so and then bring him back from the dead with his powers of Grant Morrison.
That sounds like a pretty useful power. But anyway,
Well, DC realized it was a terrible fucking idea to kill Batman. Whoops.
Yeah, how did he kill Batman?
Some dumb way, like he drowned or something. No, it was legitimately like, other than the fact that it was stupid that Batman died after all these years, because he's not Superman. You can't bring him back in any sort of way. They had to do they killed Batman. Then he tried to bring him back in Batman Incorporated, which was terrible. Like Bruce Wayne went out and was like, "I'm Batman," like Tony Stark. And like they started this whole Batman Corporation across the world, and that just sucked so hard they had to start the New 52. They had to reboot the entire DC Comics lineup because of Grant Morrison and Batman.
that sucks.
I'm not saying that guy did not write awesome comics in the past, but after killing Batman and Batman Incorporated, I kind of don't like him.
He's a pretty awesome dude.
I kind of don't like him though. He made. DC, yes, they put all the pressure on him, but he made terrible decisions. That is a terrible decision.
You're gonna not like somebody because you're not.
I'm gonna
like their art.
I'm gonna not like somebody because of the decisions they make about characters I care more about than that guy. Grant Morrison can fucking die for all I care before Bruce Wayne dies. A fictional character is more important than me than the human being Grant Morrison.
Okay.
Period.
Okay. So, if you couldn't tell, this is Project Batman. We're back with the same guys from the previous episode with a couple more people. We've got...
Well, hold on.
What do you want?
I got a tweet from a stranger where you can tweet me at Kenn M. Edwards, KENNMEDWARDS. And they said that we should, every episode, re-say our names and with our voices, because some people are just all tuning in.
I'm Kenneth Edwards.
No.
You said say our names. That's one of our names. It counts.
But attribute it to your own voice.
Oh, hi, I'm Kenneth Edwards.
That's funny.
I'm Christian Cook.
I'm Kenneth Edwards.
Sadly. I'd use it better.
I'm Sean Dillon.
I'm Chris Dillon.
It's okay.
That silence is fucking Franklin.
That's what he sounds like.
The Silence of Franklin. It sounds like a Grant Morrison comic. Batman's got to fight this guy who's silent.
Or I thought you were going to go the route of like Grant Morrison wrote a story about Franklin, so in the end, yeah, they inevitably kill him, and now he's silent.
No, I just meant Batman
Well,
had
bring
to
me
fight
back.
a dude whose power is being silent. He just, not like he's silent when he walks, he's just doesn't talk. Grant Morrison. There's going to be tons of back. Like, if anyone listens to this, there's going to be, who's that fucker who does not like Grant Morrison? It's me.
And I'm Vincent Ottobre. You guys know me. I'm awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Keep thinking that.
what we're doing today is we're bringing, we're going back into our characterization from last episode. We've got to figure out Alfred, Talia, and Ubu, how those people work.
Two characters I cared the least about, and then Alfred, which you guys just wouldn't let me talk about. It's a joke. Don't worry. Don't look so concerned.
It's cool. I'll just
Don't worry. Well, and don't worry. Today's your chance to talk about Alfred to your heart's content.
No, I wanted to talk about the other people. That's why I talked about them. And of course, Clock King. That's still a mystery to me. But the mystery of the Clock King by Grant Morrison.
Okay, but we spent all last time explaining the Clock King's part in this. What is still a mystery to you?
The choice of character. I even went back and watched the Clock King episodes of the animated series because my nephews have it on DVD, and I'm still like, well, he's cool and all, but he's never been in the focal point. He's just never been at the forefront of any of the comics ever. He's never been at the forefront. He's been in the forefront of episodes of the show, but other than that, I've got no background on this dude.
Well,
I know more about.
If you just watched the episode of the animated series, then you do have the background.
I have. Is that all the background there is? I know more. I know more about the
universe,
the calendar prince or whatever his name is, the calendar
or
dude,
whatever his name is.
Yeah, I know that he's obsessed with dates, and he will kill you on a certain date. And if you go to him in Arkham Asylum on a certain date with your system console set to that day, he'll be like, "Hey, it's Christmas," and say something about it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, there's one for like every holiday.
Yeah, I don't think
Clock King doesn't do that.
But yeah, I don't think Clock King got any sort of being more than once in the comics. But
so he is in the comics.
I believe he's been in the comics before.
But either way, we're dealing with this DC animated universe.
Right, I mean, we're dealing in this particular
Well,
story.
I'm curious about if they invented him in Batman like they invented Harley. Because Harley was entirely new.
No, I want to say that he was on the Adam West show. No, I can tell you for certain that he existed before the animated series because his original name was William Tachman as opposed to Temple Fugit.
The first Clock King, created by Bill Finger, appeared in Star Spangled Comics number 70 in July 1947 and fought Robin.
Christ.
The second Clock King was a villain and enemy of Green Arrow and debuted in World's Finest Comics number 111, August 1960.
Still counts, still DC.
And was created by France Heron and Lee Elias. So he's been around a long time.
Has he been in a bunch of stuff, or did he?
He's only 8 years
every
Batman
so often?
Jr.
He's in the 1960s Batman TV series.
Thought so.
He looks the coolest from the animated series.
He's in
the
the
whole
animated
English
series.
gentleman.
And the thing was that one of the reasons that we included him, not story-wise, but just because, is I thought that the way that he was portrayed in the animated series was incredibly well done. I mean, very cool character.
I kind of expected crazy, like Dragon Ball Z, like that's the way he would move. Is like he would flash places, but he really just like knows time.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, he's a very other than his complete obsession with punctuality, he's a fairly normal guy.
That's his OCD.
Yeah,
the Riddler's obsessed with being smarter than everyone else. Joker's obsessed with murder.
Yeah,
death,
being psychotic,
being funny.
Yeah, being funny and psychotic at the same time.
The laugh gas that kills people with a smile on their face, I really have always taken that as just wants people to smile. Like, yeah, it's evil, but they're smiling, and he doesn't have to deal with their dumbass voices anymore. So, like, it's evil, but at the same time.
It makes me smile. But two things.
What?
First of all, haven't minor characters been developed into having a larger role in many incarnations and many things in many comics and television series?
Defend what your
Look
decisions
how
to
big. Look how big
fine.
Bane has gotten. Because
Sadly.
sadly, yes, but Bane was
Because of the
actually
late 80s.
introduced. Yeah, I mean he's a fairly recent Batman villain, and
Well, when he broke Batman's back, that was kind of...
yeah,
Bane's here.
But yeah, but he was like pretty instantly just thrust into the limelight, and you know it's like
He's a very interesting character to me. Like, his whole, like, backstory of, like, how he was raised in that prison is really curious to me.
And second of all, I'm not asking about your opinion on the choice. I'm saying that is our choice. Does his use in this story and how he described it to you last time make sense?
Yeah. I also said you don't have to justify your character choices to me. I'm just curious. You throw in a character I have barely seen, and I'm going to be curious about him.
Okay.
I know everyone else pretty damn well at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know Clock King as well as I know Talia al Ghul. I don't know Clock King as well as I know
the calendar
Bullock.
prince.
I don't know Clock King as well as I know Harvey Bullock. I mean, come on. Everybody knows Harvey Bullock. He's the fat cop.
Yes.
That wears the trench coat.
Bullet for bullet.
By the way, I watched Mystery of the Batwoman,
Final?
and it was amazing.
You liked it?
Yeah.
I liked it too.
It really fooled
Was
me.
it a mystery?
It was a
It
mystery.
was a dude all along.
That many times.
It was Batgirl with the penis.
Even had Riddler fooled.
Damn.
And many times
And
throughout
then
it,
Batman was the Riddler.
I thought I had it figured out. In the hour and 15 minutes, it fooled me, and I was like, "No, it's this. It's this. It's this." No,
They really tried on though. Like, I'm not saying they don't try now, but the amount of adult level effort they put into those narratives,
yeah.
like not kids show level, like we think now kids show level. That is like an adult level show.
Yeah.
No matter
And
what.
that's the only reason it survives to this day.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's shit that survives to this day, but you're exactly right. It is the cream of the crop.
Right.
Like they just treat a feature film as something that should be able to be, if it's that good, people should be able to grasp it, whether they're a kid or a.
Right.
Well,
right,
and B, they used the feature films to make a more kind of adult side. Like Mask of the Phantasm, if you did that live action, that'd be a PG-13 film instantly, no matter
Yeah.
what.
Yeah.
The fact that it's animated gives it leeway.
Right.
The Joker fucking goes after people in that thing. It's scary. It's not scary, but you get what I mean.
What's the Dark Knight Returns rated?
PG-13?
I think so, yeah.
I think they got away with that for the same reason Dark Knight got PG-13 is because like it's Dark Knight,
Yeah.
everyone involved. It should have been R.
Yeah. I think Dark Knight Returns merits an R more than the Dark Knight.
Dark Knight Rises, you mean?
No, the Dark Knight.
You said Dark Knight Returns.
Yes.
Yeah, he's talking about the animated Dark Knight
The Frank
Returns.
Miller.
Yes.
You're not comparing Rising to Dark Knight.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I was comparing Rising and Dark Knight.
Oh, okay.
But Dark Knight Rises is a Batman movie anyway, so.
I mean, it is.
It's not. A, Dick Grayson is Robin, and B, Batman doesn't fucking run away to an imaginary cafe that Alfred thought of in his mind. Does no one in France know who the fuck
Don't
Bruce
yell
Wayne
at
is?
me.
Does no one in
Stop
France?
yelling at me.
It's a valid question. Does no one in France know who international playboy who takes the entire Russian ballet out on his yacht? Do the French really not know who fucking Bruce Wayne is?
Wait,
Seriously.
But nobody knew who that Bruce Wayne was Batman. Why
But
can't
they know the character, the multi-billionaire international sex symbol, Bruce Wayne.
Why couldn't Bruce Wayne have moved from Gotham to France?
Because people would be like, fucking there's Bruce Wayne. What the fuck is he doing here? And he's spending money like there's no fucking tomorrow, and you know that's true. Someone's going to notice something.
Why? But why can't they notice that? Billionaires are allowed to move. Nobody knew he was Batman.
They thought he was dead. Didn't they? They thought Wayne was dead, didn't they? Because
Here's a very
Silence is shaking his head. I'm sorry, man.
Here's a very
That's me.
interesting way to interpret the scene, which I know is not the way it was intended. But
Oh.
what if that scene was still in Alfred's imagination?
Then it would have been a lot sadder, but make a lot more sense.
But
It would have been really like if Alfred's just like at his parents' grave at the very end, and like it just goes into his mind, and it's that scene like he like just collapses.
I like the way that Kevin Smith said the movie should have ended, where Kevin Smith said if he was doing that film, he would have cut to the credits the second Alfred looked up and smiled.
Mm-hmm.
That was where he would have cut the film.
Yeah. But
that shot really did it for me.
well, I also feel that a lot of Nolan films build up, and then suddenly there's a point where they just fucking fall apart. And it's not true about all of his films, but there are some big Nolan films that fall apart at the end. Inception falls apart. There's a huge gaping plot hole in Inception that should never have been there. And it's when Ellen Page is like trying to tell about the grate that they have to get through to get to plant the bomb, and he's like the whole movie, Leonardo DiCaprio is telling her like, you can't tell me the maze, you can't tell me the maze, can't tell me the maze, and they're at the very end when they're in the fucking snow maze, Metal Gear level, whatever. He's like, you gotta tell me where the grate is. She could have just called the Japanese dude on her walkie-talkie, walked away and called him, and that chick would have never shot him. He would have never gotten sucked down into like the weird like creator world, and that movie would have had such a more concise ending.
I like the way Rian Johnson defends all of this stuff. You know, the amazing filmmaker behind Brick, Brothers Bloom, Looper. He says, Kevin Smith was trying to... You haven't seen any of
I
those?
just watched Brick for the first time yesterday.
Brick's amazing.
It's amazing.
That was
amazing.
amazing.
But
Makes you think it's a high school movie. Sorry.
Kevin Smith was like he liked The Dark Knight Rises, but he was talking about all the plot holes in it to Rian Johnson, and Rian was like, I don't care. There was a character outcome and a resolution that was intended, and we were supposed to feel that on a visceral level. And Kevin was like, come on, Ryan, how does Batman get back to Gotham? At the end of that movie, how does Batman get back to Gotham?
Oh, he doesn't.
No, from the sewer where Bane had him across the world. And Rian Johnson's like, you know what, I don't care. And Kevin Smith's like, why? That totally loses the logic. And Rian Johnson says, I will take that and the emotional drama that was building up over a 5-minute sequence of Batman breaking into someone's house, getting something to get some money to get back to Gotham in time to make something happen. I can leap over that logic for the emotional resolution of what the director intends me to feel.
I actually figured he went to a computer and just called the Batjet to come pick him up. Because he's flying in it there at the end, isn't he? I assumed he had the Batjet to come pick him up.
The Bat? It was
the big bat hovercraft, whatever thing that flies. I assumed that
it was in Gotham the whole
The butterfly.
I guess. It was in Gotham the whole time?
Yeah, because he uses it at the end of the
Yeah, but I assumed
climax.
it came and picked him up and he flew back to Gotham. That eases up that plot hole so easily because he really uses it in that last scene. But that's not really why I care. I care because it goes against rules that was set forth in the 40s.
But why can't you change the rules
Because Bruce Wayne will... You've seen the animated series. You've seen him crying at a graveside.
Yelling at me.
I'm not yelling at you.
You were making an angry face and yelling at me.
I'm not angry at you at all. You know exactly why there are rules about this. You know why this character works. He cannot give up on Batman because the thought of his parents' guilt, which doesn't exist, but the ghosts haunt him in his own mind, would kill that character. Bruce Wayne would kill himself.
Okay.
Out of the guilt of letting his parents and Gotham down.
I hear what you're saying, but regardless,
Wait.
no matter who's right or wrong, I bet hundreds of thousands of other people would disagree with you on the fact that The Dark Knight Rises is not a Batman movie, and that's all I'm. That's where I'm going to leave that.
I don't care what hundreds of thousands of people say.
I never said
I
you
say
did.
it's not a Batman movie,
Okay.
therefore it's not a Batman movie.
Can I interject with
Please.
something that's actually related to this and very
just interject. You don't explain why you're interjecting.
Okay, you're talking about the fact that Batman wouldn't
Bail. Essentially,
Bail,
run away.
In our movie, there is, as you know, the scene where Alfred dies.
Yeah.
And it is shortly after that scene, Batman is sitting at his fireplace, falling apart.
And that's when the Joker comes to him in his mind.
Right.
That makes sense to me.
I mean, like, you know, he wants to just give up. I mean, he does not, he can't imagine, he's never felt anguish of this sort, even with his parents' death.
If Nolan, it would suck if Nolan had done that, because then you wouldn't have been able to do it, and it's brilliant. That is the only, in my mind, logical or rational reason Bruce Wayne would ever give up. Like the death of his own son couldn't stop him being Batman, but losing Alfred would kill that man. Truly kill that man.
Okay, that's okay. Good.
I completely agree with that. That logic works for me.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't falling into the same trap.
No. The loss of if Alfred if Bane had straight up killed Alfred in Dark Knight Rises, I'd be like, yeah, run away with Catwoman. You have nothing to lose anymore, dude. You have lost everything. You go get the girl, go to France, but I don't need to see them. He didn't even tell him the name of the cafe. He just found Alfred at that random. Are he and Catwoman driving across France?
Oh, there's Alfred! Stop here!
Stopping at cafes and then looking at menus and looking up and smiling at strangers just to see if it's Alfred every so often. How many days did they sit at that cafe? And like you never
10 years later.
Do you see Catwoman's face? I assume like behind that like the her looking.
Yes,
okay. Her looking at the menu, she just looks at Bruce and just hates him. At that point, just hates him. Why the fuck have we been here for a year waiting? But like, it's the little. And to me, the only reason that doesn't work is it goes against a logic that has been implanted in my mind for 25 years. It's been implanted in the American psyche since 1949. Batman doesn't run away. Batman doesn't give up. Batman does kill people, but only every so often. Back in the 40s, he killed all sorts of people.
Oh yeah, when the character was envisioned, he fought crime with a handgun.
So that rule changed.
Yeah, but not after there was, how many decades, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 2000, not after 60 years. That was like the first 3 years. Like if you go back to 47, there's like Batman. Have you seen that Cracked article with like all the ways Batman killed people? He had like the bat jet, and he hung a dude from like a noose out of the bat jet and just flew around. And it's just like holy shit.
So I guess
bomb in the dude.
So I guess
returns.
So I guess you don't like the 1989 Tim Burton Batman movie
because he kills people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't like that fact of that movie, but I let that movie slide because it led to the animated series, which is fucking glorious. No Tim Burton movie, no animated series.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier.
No offense to Nolan, but other than more Batman, I get he's got us more Batman, so that's fine. I just wish after Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, I really felt that third film didn't compare to the other two. Those two films are excellent.
I'm not arguing with you there.
And it really I watched it. I had a good experience. I just never need to see that movie again.
Okay.
I'm just sitting here thinking about that football stadium scene. And that's Bane voice, Batman. That's Bane voice. You only adopted the darkness. I was born into it. Who the fuck is he? Like, why? I'm not angry at you. I just but since when does Bane sound like 1800s man?
Look, all right.
I'm an English gentleman, yes. I'm not Spanish at all. I'm not a luchador. He's a fucking luchador.
Okay.
There's just rules that they broke that I did not like.
Well, your thing about logic and like the cafe thing and it being too coincidental. Most movies are built on coincidences.
Oh,
and there are tons of things that directors will throw at you, writers will throw at you, and you have to just accept them to follow the story. And if you don't, you don't. It's like I know. I'm trying to get off of Nolan. I'm really trying to get off of Nolan.
Also, Joseph Gordon-Levitt's name being Robin. Seriously? Oh, just fisting us in the ass with his name being Robin. What are you doing?
Okay, so
make him Dick Grayson. We would have everyone in this room would have recognized, have a good day, Mr. Grayson. Would anyone not have gotten that when they saw that? You would have not gotten that? Dick Grayson was the first Robin.
Okay.
The Flying Graysons, you know. He eventually became Nightwing.
But then that would have been his cop name the whole movie, and we would have known.
I would have had no problem with that. I would have thought that was awesome, an awesome spin on the Robin origin.
Okay, so
Although you
would
might
have
not
done
have
that.
known. That would have been a nice
I would've-
coincidence. Although you would have known until the end.
But his name's Robin. Really?
Like, no
Come
one's
on.
ever had that name?
I've never known a man with the first name of Robin.
They've existed.
I'm sure they have,
Robin Williams.
but there's never been a... Dude, that's fucking on point, man. I've never known a Batman character in that universe to be named Robin, other than the nickname of the Boy Wonder.
Okay.
Either Dick Grayson or Bruce Wayne's son.
You accepted Roz and not Raish.
Yeah, because there's two ways of pronouncing it, and DC even says, like, both are acceptable.
Okay.
Both are canon.
Okay.
Alright, for the rest of this podcast, we're not talking Nolan.
You guys are using Raish. I'm not trying to bring up Nolan. You guys are using Raish,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yes.
I'm just
Because
curious.
that's what it is in the DC animated
Yeah.
universe, where the Clock King exists and is cool.
Yeah, but you get why people reading the comic back before, like, they heard the auditory
Of
name
course.
would go,
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
Raj, not Raish.
Yeah, of course.
So that's why both have to be acceptable.
But okay. So I think we're gonna go in reverse order here. We're gonna start with Ubu.
Ubu.
We got. I think he'll be the easiest to characterize because he's not an incredibly dimensional character, but there were a couple of things I noticed in his character that will be helpful in this. But okay, so pull up your thing that says what we're looking for our characters.
Okay.
You know who doesn't understand character? That Chris Nolan. Wah, wah. Bringing it back. I'm sorry. He does understand character.
Okay, we need to figure out the character's name, Ubu, a one-sentence summary of the character's storyline, the character's motivation, what he or she wants abstractly, the character's goal, what he or she wants concretely, the character's conflict, what prevents him or her from reaching their goal, and the character's epiphany, what he or she will learn, how they will change, and then it says a one paragraph, but we're just going to talk it out. And if you guys haven't listened to the last episode, this is a part 2. Everything in this will relate to everything we discussed in the last episode.
Except for the first half hour.
Hey, that first half hour is solid gold.
But anyway,
Like my tweets.
so the one sentence of his storyline throughout the film is that he doesn't really do much until Raish has him and the Clock King go ambush the Batcave.
He's a minion.
Yeah,
Well, he...
A goon.
I'm not trying to say he's not a minion, but, like, he is upper echelon.
Yeah, he's his right-hand man.
yeah. And
He's like a general, not just a guy running
Number
around.
2.
right.
Number 2, that's what I was trying to think of.
And throughout the fairly successful Batcave ambush, wherein pretty much all of the lab equipment that they need to save the world is destroyed.
Which is impressive. From any villain getting away with that in the Batcave is amazing.
Mhm.
Like, not only destroying the equipment, but, like, destroying the backups and stuff, making sure it can't be redone quickly, you know?
I wanted to bring up, I think it would be interesting if we not only had just Raish's mission for the Clock King and Ubu to be destroy this stuff. I think it should be along the line. We should give them each their own like he needs the Clock King to go there because he believes he can like fight Batman or whatever and destroy the equipment. But there should be something he wants Ubu to bring back to him, since Ubu will inevitably have to return to him.
The big penny. Remember the big penny?
I want that for my wall. Roll it out of there.
He should.
Roll it over the cliff and just float on it till you get to me.
I know I'm not part of the creative team, but in my opinion, it should be something like a hard drive or something, the Rogues Gallery database or something. He should bring back some sort of, I don't know, something that'll help Raish. I don't know, maybe medical records.
Or maybe just he could be reporting on what Batman's doing, since Raish hasn't heard from Batman this entire movie yet.
Could he observe the fight and then like escape type deal, and then like
Well, the
or I guess that we're getting to that.
yeah, and of course this is entirely subject to change because this has only been talked about in brainstorming before. But Ubu, despite being a pretty fucked up guy, has always had this sort of admiration for Batman, especially after the time Batman saved his life.
Oh,
I love that moment.
I
And
didn't think about that.
well, and what happens is that Ubu manages to, through distraction going on with the Clock King, Ubu manages to get a clear shot at Batman and throws a dagger. Alfred sees this when Batman doesn't and intercepts. This is how Alfred is killed. Batman...
That's still, I'm sorry, it just bugs me that Alfred dies. On an emotional level.
And then Batman pretty much goes apeshit and begins attacking Ubu towards the edge of a cliff, but still won't, even through all this anguish, it won't bring himself to kill him.
Yeah.
And he backs off, and Ubu realizes what he has done to this man. And
He should like punch a really hard hole in like a rock or something, and like, or not a hole, but like enough of a divot that's like, holy shit. So, he's 50, but he's still Batman.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, and
Thoughts.
Ubu apologizes to Batman for everything and goes off the cliff.
Damn.
And dies right then.
Why wouldn't he get some sort of satisfaction out of it? I mean,
Like I said, Ubu has this respect for Batman, and he realized that he may have just defeated the greatest warrior he's ever faced in the most dishonorable way he could.
It's both men's sense of honor in a way.
Mm-hmm.
It's like both of like how they feel about fighting, and like, is Batman going to react poorly to him jumping? Because Batman has tried to save villains when they've like fallen off stuff before. Why wouldn't he like run back and at least try to grab him?
Can I
Surely.
throw an idea out there? You had brought up before, and this is in an early episode, and I'm not saying this will be the exact idea, but I'm just going to build off of it in a certain way. You thought of like, perhaps since Ubu's going to die, since we never see him after this series of the animated series, he perhaps someone's about to crush him, and he's stuck under something, and like he looks at Batman like, "Oh my God, save me!" Batman like is about to save him, and then hesitates because, "Oh yeah, you fucking killed Alfred," and then because he hesitates in that one moment, like Alfred or Ubu gets killed. And I was going to build on that by saying, perhaps we could, instead of just killing him in the Batcave, just have him have more of a fleshed out story, and that he could kill Alfred and then feel really bad about it, and that could sort of like quietly haunt him for the rest of the movie.
But he's got to report back to Raish.
Well, he'll go back to Raish because that's all he's ever done in his life as this member of the Society of Shadows. But when he gets back to Raish, it quietly bothers him, and we don't really even need to portray that. We'll just know because we know Ubu, and maybe Raish sees Ubu somehow, like maybe Batman's in trouble in some way, or needs help in some little moment nearing the climax. Ubu just helps him. He doesn't want Batman to die because he feels bad about what happened. That pisses off Raish, and that causes Raish to fucking do something to kill Ubu, toss him off as something, and then wait, this doesn't work because Ubu just saved Batman, so Batman wouldn't hesitate. Never mind. I'm just trying.
You can make it work. You got something going.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to.
You got something
flesh
going.
this out
Maybe
just a
like
little more.
instead of at the end of the fight between Raish and Batman,
I was thinking more of like the castle siege or fucking fortress siege or something. So he doesn't really fit with or like disturb the whole climax that's just Raish and Batman.
Maybe Raish should order him to attack and he hesitates. Maybe he should be the one that hesitates. Just throwing that out.
And therefore, Ra's kills Ubu, and then we hate Ra's even more right before Batman ultimately conquers him.
I mean, Ra's could even start walking toward Batman and just kill Ubu on the way there. That would fucking just... however Ra's wants to kill him.
The way I'm seeing this, though, is that...
Yeah, these are all just ideas.
Yeah,
Tell me what you're thinking.
My thoughts on this are, well, one, it adds a further bit of having Ubu have more of a bigger role in the latter part of the movie, where it's mainly focusing on just on our two protagonists. So it seems a little overcomplicated to me.
Right. That's why I was trying to just make it like a moment.
And and the thing is that I thought that, and I mean, you heard Christian's reaction of Ubu just straight up committing suicide.
Yeah.
I mean that's a pretty big damn moment.
Right.
But
It's a sense of honor.
Yeah,
and misguided honor. It's still a sense of honor.
That's a very good point.
And
I mean, that could even hit Batman even harder if you wanted it to. Like, he's not going to walk away from someone just jumping off a cliff or whatever.
Right, and I'm thinking that
wouldn't Batman try and save him even if he jumped off?
How about this? In the fight, in whatever fight you decide to take place with Batman.
That's Franklin.
Yeah, I'm Franklin, by the way. You don't know me, and you're never gonna know me. Shut up.
They're not talking.
But what if his equipment, his cape and his saving equipment gets damaged somehow, and he doesn't realize this? For example, he looks at his cape, realizes it's all torn up. He's gonna die anyways. He can't save him. And then reaches for his grappling hook to try to use that, but that kind of misfires.
Clock King pulled it off his belt. Using time or something.
Maybe. Or just perhaps maybe it had gotten damaged somehow and it misfires or it doesn't work at all. And
that could work.
His, his moment of he wants to save him but can't. He failed to save Alfred, and then he failed to save this guy, and then it just tears him down even more. I
just have that image of every time it's like Batman would look shocked in the cape and the cowl, and how he just had all white eyes to get really big. But even the moments where Batman would literally he'd be so shocked by something, he'd take his cowl off and just be like, ah. Those were really big moments for me in the animated series of knowing, when he doesn't care enough about people seeing his face, that he's just taking his mask off to examine the situation. That's a big thing for him.
No
detective vision.
The other thing, it was an idea that it was one of my earlier ideas for this whole thing that I ended up not liking, but may end up solving this situation, so I'll throw it out there, is that the Society of Shadows always had these things where they'd squeeze their throats and there'd be this gas that would pretty much just off them. What if he did that and then went off the cliff? Batman actually just sit there and watches him die with absolutely no way to save him at all, even if he tried.
Oh.
Yeah. If it's not too complicated, we could have Batman just jump off to save him with all his equipment working, and use that same idea after he saves him.
Ubu could just fall off the cliff. Batman jumps to save him.
Mm-hmm.
Batman gets to the top, or gets back up to the top with Ubu, and then Ubu's already fucking used this thing, and then as soon as he's gets him to safety, that's when we depict that. I don't know how they depicted what happens, these items.
There's they squeeze, they sort of, they throw this catchphrase, may the shadows live forever or something like that, and then they just quickly squeeze their throat, and then you just see this green gas come up and very quickly envelop them. And what it does, it doesn't actually kill them, but it cleanses their memory completely, just wipes them clean. What if we replace that green gas with the Abaddon enzyme? It could do that, but
that'd be a fucked up way to see someone die, man.
Oh yeah,
that would impact Batman really fucking hard too, along with having Alfred just fucking die.
Well, the thing is that
Would Batman save Ubu even through all that? Yes. From what we know of the character, yes, he would.
But after they're both dead, he's still way more effective by Alfred.
Well, yeah.
Well, the thing is, though, is that we don't need to see him try to save Ubu to know that he would.
That's true.
I mean, to me, the whole thing of seeing him try to save the guy, it would honestly, it seems a little forced.
Right.
You should run to the edge of the cliff or whatever and just look or something. Just be like, what the fuck? That's
That's a good way to see. He looks he looks over the edge of the cliff after Ubu jumps.
Ubu could say that line you said they say, and then fall off the cliff. Batman runs to the edge of the cliff, and then he sees, as the body's falling, some green gas rising.
But okay, I get that. I was about to say if he's going to kill himself, then he's not, or if he's going to kill himself out of honor toward Batman, he's going to say League of Shadows thing. But that makes sense.
I think if he's gonna use the gas at all, he's gonna use it right as he goes off the cliff, as opposed to in mid-fall.
Okay.
Well, he should fall backwards and be pressing it, and you only see it.
Yeah. He could just be like this.
That's what I thought he was saying. Like as he's if you see him falling, you can see like the green smoke like that. Like fucking every time they would do smoke on that show, it just kind of follows a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Quick sidebar, since you seem to know the animated series really well. There's an episode with a dude, if he pokes you in the center of the chest, he kills you. What the fuck is that?
That is the second episode with Kyodai Ken.
I knew it existed. I keep bringing it up with people, and they're like, I don't know what you're talking, because Batman has that metal plate with only the one little circle. And I'm like, why didn't you just have a full metal plate? And it just doesn't make sense.
Kyodai Ken, the ninja or whatever the fuck he was.
The Poke of Death.
Yeah, he didn't actually learn the technique because he stole the scroll and found it.
Yeah.
And he opened the scroll up and it completely disintegrated. It was useless. So he didn't get to learn the technique, so it just ended up being Batman and Kyodai Ken fighting on top of a volcano.
Which was kind of awesome.
It was pretty awesome.
And that end scene with him and Alfred talking, and he takes the thing off, and you can see it has that one hole. That is pretty badass.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
but unsidebar, back to the topic.
So I just want to see it all depicted in my mind as one scene. So the beat by beat would be fucking. So I don't know. Can you do the beat by beat? Because I just want to.
Okay. So there's this huge fight sequence, and then at the towards the end of it, the Clock King is going towards the Bat computer to do something or other, probably to destroy it or something, and Alfred whacks him with his cane, and Alfred's like, "You're not touching that computer," and Clock King throws his quip. I don't know if I should kill you or if I should just wait 15 minutes. You're so ancient. And Clock King goes to use his time belt, which had been damaged in his fight with Batman. And as he pushes the button, it malfunctions and kills him.
He rapidly ages type deal?
Either like that, or maybe he just fades out. Something. I was thinking that, but I'm trying to think of the logistics of the device, how it would actually do that.
A pile of ash with a bowler on top.
I was thinking of having the thing you see is as you'd see his a bunch of ash and his skeleton fall to the ground, but he'd still have those glasses with the little clocks on them.
Yeah.
And that's the thing you'd see hit the ground. But if we went that route, but anyways,
one of the lenses breaks. I would do that, but that's just me.
That could work. That could work well.
Because time it's metaphor.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then that happens. Batman comes up and says, "What happened to him?" Alfred's like, "He called me old, sir."
I really liked that whole Like when Alfred says you're not touching that, and when he quips like I should just wait 15 minutes, and then he dies, and Alfred's like he called me old, or like but in the Alfred voice and like the Alfred tone, he called me old, sir.
And then it's at that point that Ubu gets up from having been knocked down earlier in the fight, and he sees a clear shot, and he throws his knife at Batman. But Alfred sees it, whereas Batman doesn't. Alfred gets in the way, takes the knife. There's that scene there. Then Batman, in the most rage he's ever felt in his life, attacks Ubu, beating him senseless to the edge of a cliff. And perhaps maybe he's put so much energy. We have to remember he's still, sort of aging, and he's recovering from a bullet hole in his chest. So maybe he starts like losing it. Maybe he's starting to get tired out or whatever, and that's when right before the edge of the cliff, and then he says, "No, I won't become this." And then Ubu says to him, "I can't believe what I've just done. I've defeated the greatest warrior I've ever met in the most dishonorable way I could. I'm sorry. May the shadows live forever."
Yeah.
Grabs his neck, the gas, goes over the cliff. Batman looks at the cliff, maybe sees his body falling, maybe just sees the flowing river.
Oh, I was thinking like fucking pull it back, fucking huge Batcave waterfall. That body just fucking falling. I just thought it'd be cool. I just thought it was
that's
a cool
good shot.
Yeah.
That's a good shot. I like that.
It feels very animated series to me too when they pull back and you can see like an entire thing.
Yeah. As opposed to sort of making it feel like the thing I kept envisioning when I was imagining the shot from Batman's point of view, and I felt it was kind of Darth Maul-ish. But yeah, no, I like the pullback shot a lot better.
Make them tiny in the presence of the Batcave, both of them. Make them tiny.
Yeah,
because of how huge the thing is.
Yeah, it's a giant ass.
But then someone's gonna find him in the fucking Gotham East River.
Well, come on. How often do bodies turn up in the fucking Gotham East River? I mean, come on. Let's be serious here.
There's a few dozen DAs, some police chiefs, Harvey Bullock.
That place straight up looks like the Ganges River. So
damn.
I'm wondering. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
With the whole, just the one moment of where Alfred takes the knife. I don't know. As a person who likes to watch movies and shows and all that, it bothers the hell out of me to see that happen so often, like so expectedly. Is there a way you can make that happen so that it doesn't he's throwing a knife? You know what's going to happen. And you're like, when you see him, you're like, oh my god, I saw this coming.
But he's throwing it at Batman, right?
Right.
Have the shot look like it's about to hit Batman, and then you see Batman gasp.
Yeah.
But
he's
not hit with a knife.
Yeah. I'm just wait. It's just my opinion, but I hate the cliche of someone saving a guy after getting knife through.
Perhaps Batman's already. While Alfred was busy with the Clock King, Batman thinks he already subdued Ubu. And then once, you call me old, sir, Batman's just talking to Alfred. He thinks
maybe he managed to tie Ubu up or something.
Or something.
Yeah. He thinks the moment's just like they're relieved now.
Yeah, there's a moment of levity.
And then, just like, okay, Alfred's looking at Bruce, Bruce is looking at Alfred. And then, there's that moment of levity, and then he called me old, sir. And then Batman says something like, oh, remind me never to do that. And Alfred's just like, sir. And then, because he sees on the other side of the cave, and then Batman turns around and just sees a knife coming at him. Mm-hmm. But he'd know Alfred would get hit.
What if he just had Alfred saving him? And, not even knowing there's a knife there until everything's said and done.
Yeah, because I wanted to...
Wait. The knife is going towards Batman and Alfred jumps in the way.
Yeah, I think that's what I was trying to say before I worded it funny. But yeah, that's what I want it to be. I mean, I want it to be... Franklin's right on this. I want it to be an absolute, like, fucking shock, like getting punched in the chest sort of thing.
Right.
You could potentially, just think, because I constantly think about shots, you could potentially have them standing next to the back computer and, like, talking. There's a moment of levity, and, like, a blurred figure, not even throws it, not even anything, just... is suddenly on, like, the side of the shot, and then, like, you know, you cut back closer to them, and that's when it happens. Like, you don't even need to show them throwing it, you just need to show the reaction.
Maybe it's not even thrown. Maybe, I don't know how Ubu would make... I mean, Ubu would be able to be pretty stealthy, right? What if he managed to come up and actually physically do the knife himself?
I think Batman would punch him in the face.
Yeah, and then because Batman's back is to Ubu, so when it's fine, Batman's back is to Ubu, so Alfred could just be like see him at the last possible second and just be like, "Sir," and then Ubu's already thrusting the knife forward and it goes straight into him.
Like Alfred actually physically throws Batman out of the way.
Well, at that point, he's also stopped Clock King with his cane. I don't think we need to doubt the prowess of.
Oh no, I'm not saying that.
Okay.
No, I was for clarity of what Ken was saying.
Yeah.
I think
And-
definitely.
What about that?
I like it. Do we like that better than the knife throwing?
Is he going to get up and run toward, or is he just going to
We're not going to
pop
know.
up behind Batman? Or you're not going to see it at all?
We're not going to see it at all
Okay.
until that last, like, right when Alfred moves him out of the
So
way.
it's the shot is like
Should
like
we-
tight
should
on
we-
Batman and Alfred, and then like Alfred, like it'll fucking like just beat by beat, close up to Alfred. You know, Alfred says his thing and then pushes Bruce out of the way, and by that time he's already stabbed.
Yeah.
And that's when you realize, holy fuck!
Oh,
Would
wait,
there
wait,
be
wait,
an
wait.
establishing shot of?
Okay. Alfred shoves Bruce out of the way.
Uh-huh.
We, as the camera, follow Batman getting shoved. In the shot of, like, Alfred shoving Bruce, it's from behind Alfred's shoulder. Okay, so he gets shoved. As he's shoving, we see Ubu thrusting with a knife. So the camera follows Bruce once he gets shoved. We just see Bruce, like, fall on the ground.
And then he looks up.
And then us as an audience are like, oh, Alfred saved Batman. And Bruce just, like, looks up. And then it's a shot of Alfred's, like, upper torso. And then he looks down.
Pain. Yeah.
It
should be
there's a
about.
knife
It
arc.
should be about right there.
Well, yeah, whatever. Like, there's a knife
And the
in it.
side, yeah, left side because of the heart. That
And
makes
then-
sense.
And then Alfred falls to the ground. Batman catches him, and then Alfred simply all he has time to say is, "Your parents would be proud."
And then like one moment of like the audience just feeling that moment between Alfred and Bruce.
There's a
We-
complete silence.
Yeah, we
complete
for like
silence.
for like 2 seconds we even forget Ubu's there. Not for real, but like we're just focused on their relationship. Your father would be proud, and Bruce has just a moment to like really take that in before looking over his shoulder and fucking going after Ubu.
Then bring in the horns. The da 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 da.
The only,
I was thinking music thing here.
Well, it's a
I'm
very
thinking-
tricky legal area.
Huh?
It's a very tricky.
He's
legal
scoring
area.
it.
Oh, well, cool. It's a less
Yeah,
tricky legal area.
Yeah, I've got to play some of the stuff I've already done.
Cool.
Um,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm thinking music for their dissonant chords.
Oh yeah.
Dissonant chords, brass. I mean, like Batman is almost psychotic
You
right
can
right
you
now.
can even go straight up organ. They weren't ever afraid to go straight up church organ.
Yeah, it could do that.
when Batman looks over his shoulder, it goes from like a sort of dark black scene, just screen goes red.
I think he should just turn around and have the Batman eyes again.
Yeah,
Like instead of like the big eyes, he should look like
yeah, like angry.
when
sloth.
he turns, imagine the scene in Mask of the Phantasm where he puts the mask on for the first time,
Yeah.
and you don't see like his face, you just see him in shadow and his eyes.
when
Yeah.
Alfred looks so startled by it.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Now here's I love what we've come up with in this last 20 minutes. Here's the only part that doesn't add up to me. Ubu he's so ready to just fucking knife Batman. I don't even care. He's fucking gonna die because that's the mission I was sent here to do. And then a moment later, like literally like 30 seconds later, he just really feels bad about the fact that he hurt his feelings when he was about to kill him.
He fucked up. These people
when-
have a sense of honor. They're evil, but they have a sense of honor,
Like
especially the Society of Shadows.
When he realized,
That's a
because
good
he has never seen Batman act like this. Where Ubu knows Batman pretty well through combat and through just, I mean, actually spending time with him.
Where it's Dark Knight Returns, aggro, fucking beating on everybody, not caring if he's getting shot and stabbed. Batman,
It'll be like defensive heroism fighting. He's like angry.
Yeah,
everything
fighting.
he ever learned is bringing. Yeah, at this.
Yeah,
point.
it's like it's like he doesn't even recognize Batman, and we should have that apparent in the animation too.
Yeah.
Batman's not fighting with a Batman fighting style. He's brawling to the fucking death.
That's why I was doing the big haymaker style punches.
I mean, that needs to be apparent from every angle.
We need to make Ubu look fucking like
Terrifying.
Yeah.
No gadgets.
And before he falls over the cliff, he needs to look fucking bloodied up.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to have a
beaten
reason
up.
to. He needs to have a reason to feel dishonored.
Yeah, Bruce should beat him within
An inch of his life.
before being like, no.
I won't reduce myself to
Yeah.
people. But like that would definitely. I feel.
I get what you're
Logically speaking, that would definitely speak to his sense of honor and dishonor of not only failing the mission for Rash, but also for Jim Rash, but also for just fucking pushing the greatest warriors ever fought to the point where he's fighting like he's 15.
Yeah,
and hormonal.
He never wanted to kill. He never wanted Alfred to die. He never even thought about Alfred when he was sent to the Batcave. Like he was just like he was there to kill.
This is what made him think about everything he's done in the Society of Shadows or League of Shadows or whatever you guys call it, the Society.
That's what it is in the DCU.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep up.
I know. That's fine.
Yeah,
That's why we're telling you.
That's why it's one of the reasons I like what Marvel's doing. Is like they unified everything. It's real neat, but what else?
Yeah.
That's definitely.
That all really works for me, and I really don't mean to rain on your parade, but so abstractly he wants to kill Batman for Ra's, but concretely he wants to fight Batman honorably and win. That's what Ubu wants from all of this.
He's got this sort of conflict going. And it's been apparent before. Ra's left Batman in the desert to die. Ubu threw him a canteen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, in open defiance of what Ra's is doing.
It's also that can also be interpreted as I just want one more fight with you. I just want one more go with you because Ubu has gone with him probably as much as Ra's has at this point, like physical fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And when Ra's gives orders for the mission for the Clock King, Ubu's in the room. Clock King walks out after being given the mission, and then Ra's just says something like, "Make sure he does his job, or make sure everything goes according to plan."
Do the Scar from Lion King, kill him. Kill him. That's a fucking dark line for a Disney movie.
Yeah.
Kill him.
I always thought that. Yeah, but I always thought that was really powerful.
Me too.
But that's
just like so nonchalantly. Almost.
That's a Disney that we will never. Well, we may see again, but in the past, ever since that comes out, we have not seen a Disney that powerful. We've seen Pixar that powerful, but not Disney.
Yeah.
So
I really like that whole scene.
yeah,
what I like about the fact that we did that scene was that's where Ubu gets his characterization.
Yeah, it's all
in that
I-
5-minute sequence.
I don't need any of the other questions answered because we went through two of them, and I was just like, so that's what he wants, and you're like, yeah, we answered all those questions.
Yeah, like that all works, and probably ultimately gives him far more characterization than just a moment in the Batcave and a moment at the end. So
Yeah. And he I'm not saying, every C-list character deserves this, but like
but we followed him.
The amount of characters you have, like the reason, like the fact that you don't have the Rogues Gallery, the fact that Superman and the Flash are in their normal clothes, the way you're treating the universe, like that guy deserves the respect you're giving.
Yeah, we've spent time with him as an audience in the series. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought it was funny that his name was Ubu because of that production company, Sid Ubu Sid. Good dog.
I've always I looked it up, and Ubu may not actually be his real name. It could be a title, but
Yeah.
they're never clear on it.
But he does always.
Do
look
you
the
know
same.
Do you know what Ubu means?
Mm.
Ah, shit, that'd be good to know.
But he is voiced by someone different. A few different.
He's voiced by someone different every time he's never been voiced by the same person.
But he's
twice.
always only had like one line.
Meaning the Ubu, if it's going to be a title, the Ubu could be potentially a different right-hand man.
But he has always looked exactly the same.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
I mean,
it's
But we only
the
have
same
so many
guy.
character designs. Ken.
Theoretically, yes.
Okay. So theoretically, it could be a general that gets replaced every so often.
Right, but
Okay.
for this character, for this development to work, it has to be the same one.
Yeah, the same man.
Yeah.
The same one who's fought Batman.
And the same one who's shown him that respect before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, him throwing them in that canteen, that was... Ra's al Ghul does not deal with that shit. He does not have time for that.
I don't think he knew.
And then for the rest of the movie, does Ra's even bring up the fact that Ubu never returns?
I was thinking having him mention the failed ambush when him and Batman finally meet at the end of the movie, but pass it off as it doesn't surprise me that you managed to make it through that.
Right.
Well, I mean, even though Ra's is a huge dick, I truly believe that, when Talia and Bruce were involved, he wanted them to be together to run that whole show. So I do think that he respects Batman, but at this point he's just so fucking sick of him getting in the way.
Well, yeah, and that was what we talked about last time, is that Ra's has always had this respect and this honor, but he's decided if he wants to get anything done, he's got to cast that aside.
Enough time. I really enjoy the fact that because the characters are older, enough time has passed in the universe where people are at their breaking point. People are just sick and tired of dealing with shit. People are sick and tired of Batman getting in the way, as they would be if they were real characters in real life. Someone's going to eventually get sick of Batman and do everything they can to kill him if Batman was a real guy.
How do you feel about it?
I actually really like it. I mean, I had the same concern Franklin did at first with the whole throwing on a knife thing, feeling...
Yeah.
I actually did remember how I compared it to Dobby.
You did.
Yeah,
a bunch
you did.
of
Oh,
episodes ago.
gosh, that is... Ew.
But not anymore.
Well, I didn't even think about it being cliche till he brought it up, and then it started going through my head.
Yeah.
No! No!
Homer Simpson. No. It was a very good, good catching the bullet there, but you got to work on your no. Hey guys, we're out of donuts. No. That's better.
Homer Simpson was an astronaut, too.
He was an astronaut.
Oh, everybody loves Mr. Plow.
Alright. So, we've got Ubu.
Talia?
Let's do Talia.
Let's get Talia. Okay, so Talia's conflict is incredibly easy.
Hold on. We just ended Alfred's story. Should we do Alfred next?
Oh!
I kind
Sure.
of just wanted to put I wanted to end the episode on that.
I kind of did, too.
Yeah, I think it was just for the purpose of the episode more than anything else.
The same way that, like last time we covered, what, Batman and Ra's, and then we did Clock King, because, there was a lot to talk about with me about, how that was going to work out. Well, at least I felt that. I was really curious about how you guys were going to work that out. And,
So are you saying we're not doing Alfred this episode?
No, we are, just after Talia.
Okay.
Because we
Right?
we could do Talia really quick, because there's...
Save the best for last.
Okay.
Yeah, that's...
And no offense to Talia, I get she's a hot comic character and she's interesting and stuff, but I'd rather talk about Alfred for a long time.
Well, in this episode, this movie is about trying to make you feel why their relationship works so well between Bruce and Talia, because it's sort of in the animated series.
Yeah.
There's a romance element to this story.
Yeah.
In the animated series, there's sort of they encounter each other once, and Bruce kind of likes her, and then turns out she works for Ra's, and then the second episode with Talia, she stays the night, and he's like, I've always felt so strongly for you. You never really saw anything develop.
We all do dumb shit for women. Dumb shit. If it turns out that she's a supervillain,
It's not,
that's
it's
another
not
dumb
Batman's
thing we
fault.
did
I mean, he
with
has a penis. I mean, what the hell is he supposed to do?
I agree. I'm just saying.
He's got blood.
I'm just
He's
saying.
got a brain and a penis and only enough blood to run one at a time.
Yeah.
He's running off caveman software.
I'm just saying that, like, in the animated series, I believe they were trying to depict him as truly caring for Talia without really ever building that relationship.
Right,
And we
and-
can sort of define what makes them work.
In every other medium,
and
they have really like that relationship was fought hard to the point where in the animated series, like it should have been known by then. Like that molecular bond is already happening.
Right.
Molecular, magnetic.
Yeah.
But let's go through Talia's story because I've got a pretty solid idea on how her story goes through this.
Yeah.
Do it up.
Oh wait, I meant to ask this during the ambush scene. Where is Talia during the ambush?
Doing stuff. Playing out, hanging.
I don't know if I actually want her even in the Batcave at all.
That's
when
what
this
I
is
was
happening.
wondering.
Can she be at Victoria's Secret? Suddenly the movie turns live action. Just for that scene.
Perhaps.
Fuck, maybe she's in the shower or something.
Perhaps he's like, I'm going. Okay, so before the ambush scene, Batman's like, maybe since she thought Raish was behind it, he's like, another city gets destroyed, and he's like, okay, that's it. I'm going to go find your father, and she's like, wait, I have an idea of where he is. You try to figure out this serum in the Batcave. So she goes off to try and find him, wherever Raish is, and he's there doing detective work, maybe talking to Alfred about the new suit or something, and that's when Clock King fucking throws the grenade. That whole scene takes place, and of course, once Ubu's there, Bruce knows that Raish is involved. Talia returns later, not knowing Alfred's been killed, and is like, it is my father behind this. Like, maybe just a scene of like her seeing her father's fortress and just seeing like a plane take off from it or something. And
I thought we had it. I thought it was established that they've known pretty much the entire time that Raish was involved.
That's why
well, no, she says in the beginning, I believe my father's behind this, right? But like,
I mean, either way works.
Yeah.
I mean, you can really send her off on some side quest while this is all happening, and then bring her back, and that's just rationale for the conflict and the conflict between them, and that eventually climaxes at the end, where she decides, he's still my father, and Batman's just like, what the fuck ever at that point. He can probably assume that she's involved at that point, but then be like, no. But at the very end, she just that would logically work. I'm saying story wise,
right.
So,
But the dialogue I was envisioning was like her returning to the Batcave, being like, I knew my father's behind this, or my father is behind this, and him just
I know you're behind this.
I know.
That could work.
I
think that's a detail for that's a technical thing.
Yeah.
But anyways, Talia's story throughout this goes through as Batman is trying to figure out what's going on with all these cities getting destroyed and whatnot. And he finally gets it figured out. Maybe it's Ra's al Ghul behind this. And then we'll figure that out later. How he comes to that conclusion.
There's only one person I know who wants this many people dead.
Something like that.
Yeah, Joker wanted like fucking mass genocide people.
Yeah, Joker's only worried about Gotham.
Well, yeah, that and there's probably only one
Joker's
villain.
dead.
There's only one. Well, yeah, definitely, but there's only one villain in the Batman universe that has the means, and that's the Society of Shadows.
Yeah,
and
time and time again.
And then Talia, maybe Batman goes to Talia, or Talia comes to him, but somehow they're united early on in the story. And Batman is initially incredibly distrustful of Talia because the last time he saw her, she tried to kill Superman.
And basically fucked him over in the process.
Right.
Who wouldn't try to kill Superman, though?
Me.
I'd totally try to kill Superman.
I wouldn't try to kill Superman. I'd get my ass kicked.
He's an illegal alien. Literally.
But yeah, so they he's a naturalized citizen.
I know he is.
Of Earth. Anyway.
Yeah, of Earth.
Of Earth.
The Earthican people.
My fellow Earthicans. Okay. But he loses this distrustful feeling towards Talia and starts gaining his feelings back as they are traveling the world trying to figure out, okay, what exactly is going on here? How do we stop it? And there's a moment of bonding when they're in Milan and they're on a date in a little corner bistro somewhere. This was mentioned in a Batman Beyond episode of that exact date happening, and we're thinking that this is about what
Tie it in.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've actually got the shot. There's a picture of the restaurant.
If you've got dates, tie it in.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Not the calendar date, but the romantic be on a date.
I always hate that when they have the information that they can tie in to make the universe more complete, and they don't, and you have to.
Oh yeah, no,
it's cool when you get to tie it in yourself, but like when they take the time and effort to recognize what they or anyone before them made as canon, that's really cool to me.
Yeah, and that's what we're doing. But they go on this date, and that's when Bruce finally realizes Talia's in this, and this isn't I don't have to worry about her going back to her father anymore. This is...
So when she comes back, he wouldn't be all like, I think you're involved. He would just be like, okay.
Right, he finally...
He's just like, get away.
He finally lets himself go and allows himself to enjoy the rest of the night. I mean, I'm thinking the date scene fades out on them just sort of slowly dancing.
Playboy Bruce Wayne. For like one moment in the entire thing, Playboy Bruce Wayne.
Exactly. It's
nice.
They wake up the next morning, everything seems nice, and like
giant picture windows.
He brings up something like, well, do you want to go out for breakfast? Suddenly fucking Abaddon shits everywhere.
And then they get in the fucking Batwing and they are fucking leaving. I know it's bad. It is bad.
She wakes up, they're both in bed, and he has the Batman costume on.
Just the cape and the cowl.
Just the cape.
Nothing else. Most awkward scene ever.
Talia's just like,
when
did you put that on?
I like to be prepared. So does Ra's Abaddon Gotham and like No Man's Land it, or does Ra's Abaddon Gotham and just fucking destroy it?
Ra's doesn't Abaddon Gotham.
Oh.
Gotham doesn't.
You said they see the Abaddon shit.
They're not. They're
in
Milan.
Milan.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I fucked up. I'm sorry.
They're on the other hemisphere.
The international dateline will save us.
But yeah, and and then Talia is fine. Talia has changed because she's finally completely given herself to Bruce. She's not, she's going to defeat her father once and for all, and she's actually like sabotaging his Abaddon stuff throughout the climax of the film. She's sitting there blowing shit up.
As much as she knows how to, yeah. That'd be awesome.
And
because he's her father.
Yeah, I mean, she's definitely a skilled combatant. And then after the whole fight between Batman and Ra's, she sees Ra's sitting there dying. And she relapses.
Yeah, but almost.
That's her weakness.
I'm probably just thinking about this way too hard. But won't seeing that after dealing with the whole Alfred thing, won't he finally get that?
What?
After seeing Alfred die, after Alfred died in his arms, won't he finally get the whole father son / daughter thing? Maybe not. Maybe I'm just thinking too hard on this.
Wait, who's he?
Batman. Batman watching Ra's die in Talia's arms. Won't he get a flashback to Alfred dying in his arms, and there be some semblance of understanding? Some inkling of, even if he doesn't want to admit it, some sort of small mention in his mind.
I would love for the shot to mirror exactly Alfred being in Bruce's arms, but Bruce will bring up to her moments later that, or moments before that this man is different. Like, regardless
Yeah,
of
like
how...
you owe
He's
him
pretty
nothing.
much inhuman.
Yeah,
it's like
regardless
you
how
owe-
you feel about him, like, look at everything he's done. It's
Here-
undeniable.
here's
To her, too.
I
He
have-
fucked with her, didn't he?
I have the dialogue.
Oh.
Here's how the scene goes.
Let's do it.
Okay. Batman has just defeated Raish, and I still have to tell you how that whole fight scene goes, because I've got that planned out too. Batman is standing over the defeated Raish. Raish is sitting there, dying at his feet.
Yeah.
And Talia comes in, either having witnessed the fight or witnessing the end result. I mean, she was busy doing other stuff, so she may not have been...
Just montage of her at a mall. She's busy doing other
I
stuff.
thought you had said at one point that she did come in there and he, like, decks her in the face.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe something like that.
Well, yeah,
like
because he was about to kill Batman, and then she
yeah,
saves him.
Oh,
okay. So, but anyways, I'll explain that to you.
And Raish
separately.
didn't even know that Talia was even involved at all.
Yeah, something like that. But okay. So anyway, and Talia begins to actually looks at Raish and begins to leave with Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And because she's cool with this for a second until he calls for her.
Yeah.
He's in the weakest voice he can possibly do, Talia, and and that's where it gets her, and she turns, and Batman grabs her shoulder lightly, and it's just like, no, you owe him nothing. This is what he wants. This man has murdered. This man has
800
murdered
million people.
Yeah, this man has murdered millions. You owe him nothing.
Yeah.
And she's like, but he is my father. And
He also kind of solved global warming and overpopulation and resources.
there's. I mean, he was trying. I mean, he was literally
that's his
trying
whole
to do
goal
good.
the whole time is destroy wickedness and that balance that doesn't exist.
But then, Talia's like, he is my father, and Batman's like, he's not your father. He's a monster.
Yeah.
And Talia's like, what if it was your father? What if it was Alfred? And
That would piss me off.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
He gets pissed, and he's just like, how dare you compare him to
Wayne the philanthropist? Come on.
Yeah, how dare you compare him to
The
that?
lowly butler who raised the rich kid. I mean, yeah, he got to live in the house, but he was fucking doing shit all the time. Constantly.
But then he just turns and walks away, and he's like, fine, have your final moments, Miss Al Ghul. And turns to leave.
Yeah.
And that is when Raish ends up tricking Talia into the machine that ends up letting Raish
Take her body.
take her body.
Yeah. Not like, I'm gonna take your body, but he, like, inserts himself. That sounds worse. That's his soul inside of her physical vessel.
They
Killing her
switch
in the process.
They switch consciousness, and then
It's so terrible.
and then he, as Talia, steps out of the machine.
Can't at least let her be trapped in there.
Like I said,
Jesus.
I'll explain that to him later because it's been explained 3 times.
Yeah.
On this
No,
show.
it
But-
makes sense to me, but it's all that more terrible that he pulled her back.
Oh,
and then
God.
he doesn't
But-
even let her like live inside her own mind. He's just fucking straight up. Nope.
But yeah, and then that's Talia's beginning to end, and what she's thinking the whole time.
I have one problem with it. When Bruce grabs her shoulder, does he not cut her throat with the bat gauntlets? Because that seems like something that would happen constantly from grabbing people's shoulders. Those things seem razor sharp.
I mean, he's been Granted, this is a brand new suit. It's the first time he's ever used it. So
He just-
theoretically,
there's an outtake where he just cuts her head off.
that's a good alternate ending.
Oops.
But
Those are the
presumably,
bloopers during the credits.
He cuts her head off, and like he has her hand on her shoulder, and like her body just falls away, and he just like backs away slowly with his hands in the air. That's how the movie
and then
ends.
Raish just has some snappy comment about it. And you said I was a murderer. But
Boom mic falls, Raish and Batman start laughing.
Someone in the end is just like,
Well,
God.
looks like Batman finally got some head. Heyo! Credits. Raish even does like the fist pump at the end. Heyo! Fist pump. Death. End.
Here's my only problem with the Talia thing.
It's probably a legitimate problem too. Instead of a retarded problem.
When Talia first is introduced into the story, and Batman's like, no, I don't trust you, get away from me. Batman has pretty much the stealth capabilities and the power to keep away from anyone he wants and to keep anyone he wants away from him. How does she convince him up to the point of like dating in Milan to let her tag
He
along?
loves her. Her presence convinces
yeah,
him.
it is partially that. Again, the not enough blood for both the brain and the penis thing.
Well,
Matt,
like,
I
fucking great.
like Matt.
That's a Robin Williams joke.
Is it?
Yeah, but
It's good.
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams is just with today's special guest, Robin Williams. You know?
a guy named Robin. Jesus Christ.
But
Talk about work from work. Ew.
the other thing is that she has a bargaining chip. She does have something he doesn't, and that is
Tits. I'm so
Okay,
sorry. Please edit that.
she has multiple things, physical and otherwise.
She has stuff Batman wants.
Okay. All of these things keep Batman in on the thing, but the main story related thing that's nothing to do with reproduction is that she knows where all the Lazarus pits are. She knows where Race's fortresses are. She knows everything about him.
Is she going around shutting down Lazarus pits? Is that what she's doing when she's blowing shit up, or is she blowing up like
She's
Abaddon?
stopping the Abaddon machine.
Okay.
Yeah, there's an Abaddon manufacturing plant.
That's a last name of someone famous, right? Like someone notable in history, like a serial
Abaddon.
You have heard it in Lost in Matthew Abaddon, the mysterious black dude, and you've heard it in
Adventure Time.
I know where else you recently have heard it is it was the name of the company in Enlightened.
Oh, okay.
The reason we
And
picked
Adventure
it,
Time.
the reason we picked it, Spark Notes version, biblical reference. Lazarus was one of Jesus' apostles or something that was raised from the dead. Hence the name, the Lazarus Pit.
Oh, okay.
Abaddon was the angel of death present at the apocalypse, near apocalypse of 09. They're antitheses, both in the physical, they are the opposite thing in the movie, as well as opposite in the Bible. It's a corollary sort of thing, and it really clicked. I think that's why we picked that.
Not to sidebar or anything, but I'm really like hot.
It is really hot in here. I need an air conditioner.
I didn't want to.
Can we open that?
We can open that. I mean, I guarantee you, the second we open this window, the guys with the crotch rockets are going to start coming around driving shit.
They got the windows open. Let's go.
All right, I have to leave in half an hour, so let's knock out Alfred. We basically figured out everything Talia wants.
Oh yeah.
Her motivation, her
I'm real glad
conflict.
with how you're treating the character.
And I want her to be well written, because I don't want that whole you guys can't write female characters sort of thing
Yeah,
going.
Always wrote her well in the animated series, in my opinion.
Yeah, no. So we need to keep with that as well.
Yeah, I mean, originally we had her as being a damsel in distress, and we were like, no,
we can't do that.
She doesn't even need to use her sexuality to get Bruce like for her. She just does. Like, it's not necessary for her to use that against him, but she can.
Yeah,
she
there
does.
are many attractive factors.
Yeah,
for her.
She's smart. Blah blah blah.
And the tragedy is like her epiphany. What she learns, we think she's learned throughout the whole movie, is that she doesn't need her father. She can have a relationship with this man who loves her.
Yeah.
But she doesn't just
realize it in time.
This is really like the anti-redemption story.
Oh yeah, no, when you get down into the thick of it, this is a horrible story in the terms of, I mean, it's well written, but it is not a happy story.
It's like Killing Joke, Long Halloween, dark.
In essence, about what one has to sacrifice for the greater good.
Yeah, and it's like
Which
it's like
everything.
That's
why you wouldn't run away.
And it's like Mask of the Phantasm. That's not a happy movie. That movie's terrible.
Yeah, but it's so well written and it's so good.
Exactly.
That you totally ignore.
How
terrible it is.
And that's what we're trying for in this as well.
Yeah.
And the character he falls in love with was sort of. I'm not going to say she was based on Talia, but she was a redhead and like she was involved in like a crime family. Like her father was a gangster. Mm-hmm. Like there were parallels there.
Yes,
to Bruce always getting involved with the wrong woman. So,
but okay, so Alfred's story throughout the movie,
up until his death,
is that we see him, and we've got the first act. You emailed the first act to us, right? Yeah, you did, because I sent it to somebody else.
There's a few edits we still need to do. I still need to do, but yes, pretty much.
But Batman, after getting nearly mortally wounded in a fight with some common criminals, comes back, and Alfred, is helping him recover from this. And Alfred wants Batman to stop, but what Alfred wants more than anything is for for Bruce to have peace. And
that's why he's been doing this all these years,
right? He wants this to the core where if Bruce needs to die to have that peace, is that something that Alfred would do?
No, not at all.
No.
He made a promise to his parents.
Okay. So
I'm not trying to come down.
That was something I was legitimately asking. I couldn't figure it out, but
even in the animated series, he's brought up like I promised your parents type stuff.
But
even though Michael Caine should have said it, in the movies, Alfred has always hinted like I made a promise and that's why I'm here. And even though he enables the Batman addiction, if you want to call it that, which he kind of is, he's always been leery. He's always trying to be that voice of reason when he's getting ready to, fire up the rocket car and go kill people. Well, go fight people. But there's always been something about Alfred, very supportive, very loving, but at the same time, not disappointed, but kind of sad.
He has never agreed with Bruce being Batman.
He's not going to be like, oh, I'm so disappointed in you. Like, he's proud of him, but at the same time, he's just like so sad that this has to be his life. What was the phrase like by Kevin Smith? The greatest strategy of Bruce Wayne's life?
It was Paul Dini.
I'm sorry.
Yes, I was confused. Now I'm spreading like a virus.
The Paul Dini quote of like the greatest strategy of Bruce Wayne's life being having to put on that cowl. And that's the way I feel Alfred feels about it. Like, he loves this, his son, essentially, but at the same time, he has to deal with the fact that he's doing all this to himself.
Right. But see, Alfred is hesitant to let Bruce continue being Batman, but he resigns to allow Batman to continue doing so by aiding him in creating a new Batsuit that will counter the fact that he's getting old.
Because we discussed that in the DCAU, as far as we can tell, Lucius Fox doesn't help him create anything. He doesn't really even know he's Batman.
Who works on the Batmobile in the animated series? He takes it from the big like bat mask front to the modern Batmobile. Some mechanic helps him.
Yeah, there's some mechanics that he knows are in on.
But they're also like super like good mechanics. I mean, they built.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. I want to say they're Wayne Enterprises employees, but
they
I
gotta
felt
be.
like-
They gotta be.
but
But
it
it
might
wasn't-
not be though because it's not stated that they know who Batman and Robin are.
I don't think they know. I think they just think the Wayne's Enterprises supports them.
But anyway, yeah, it's two mechanics help with the Batmobile, and
That was a good episode.
It was a good episode. And then while Batman and Talia are traveling the world, Alfred is working on building the Batman Beyond Batsuit to Bruce's designs. One of the
Does that thing have no cape or just a really short cape?
no cape. It does have wings.
That's why I
The
think it has
wings,
cape.
the wings, completely they're invisible unless they're actually
Yeah,
folded out.
it's like when it kind of looks like when Spider-Man has his like weird wing things, right? They're like under the
Yeah.
wings type deal, but
But
they
it-
like suck back in that memory, electronic, whatever.
and
Batsuit.
and what we were thinking as to how bring it like DC animated universe is that in Mystery of the Batwoman they the Batwoman character invented this sort of electro memory metal, and we're guessing that
Like in the movies,
Right.
That's what I was thinking.
but like it wasn't like Batman didn't come up with this himself. It was actually something that he ended up
the material, like in the movies,
incorporating. And that's what I'm thinking. That's what the wings are made of. We had a whole technical episode on that suit. It was
Cool.
just going
hear that.
through that suit, and then the prototype bat armor, which is it's like
The
his
power
big,
armor.
Yeah,
It is power armor.
yeah. It's
He pushes out a little thing of kryptonite out of his chest toward
well, it's actually
Toward
it's
Superman.
actually
It's not that power armor.
Yeah, it's not that power armor. It was in one episode of Batman Beyond, and it's probably the most epic moment in that entire series when he puts that shit on. It's awesome.
Has there ever been an action figure of it?
There was one.
Okay. There was a lot of Batman shit back in the 90s that I had, a lot of weird power armor stuff, but that was back when it was like the comics were going through animated series and then Batman and Nightwing fighting.
But anyway, so yeah, there's that. And Alfred is busy putting that together for
As he
Bruce
would.
while they're traveling. And when they come back, they're working on this, and Alfred says, "I have your prototype finished.
Yeah.
I want to know what you think." And Batman's like, "Okay, we'll have to try that out here in a little bit. I got to test this stuff." And it's very shortly after that the ambush scene takes place. Then there's that whole thing. Then there's the Joker hallucination scene, and after that is the scene where he actually tests the new Batsuit, the whole record time sequence. Yeah. That's the flow of that.
Yeah.
And in Alfred's story, he's incredibly reluctantly helping Batman stay Batman, even though he has just watched him almost die twice in like 8 days.
So essentially, it's going to be he gives advice, he makes witty quips, and we're going to get a cool shot of him like welding something. You know, like we would get a cool shot of him welding something, like in the animated series. This is my balls.
But yeah, I mean, does that sound about right for
Yeah,
Alfred's flow? Is there anything else we need to answer about him?
I don't think so. Like all he's really technically involved in the plot is just with that Batsuit. Otherwise, he's just there for emotional support.
Right.
What is Alfred's background?
Alfred, according to the animated series, was at one point an operative for the British SAS. It was with a very high-ranking British military, like British CIA sort of thing, and that's
So-
part of his story.
Would he know how to
Yes.
perfectly weld and all of that?
He's perfectly capable of dealing with any gadgetry that Batman has. It's because think about it just from a logical standpoint. Batman is out all night and he's still got to run Wayne Enterprises.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
We were talking about how Alfred, the ability of Alfred to actually put together a new Batsuit, which we're pretty much decided that he could do that.
I hate to say it, but I've always just assumed Alfred's technological knowledge, and I assumed he fought in World War II or something, like SAS or something.
Yeah, that was discussed in an animated series episode. He was SAS. Bunch of people kidnapped him trying to get nuclear launch codes or something.
Damn.
Yeah.
I just... He got pulled into that family for some weird reason. And I hate to make the connection to Archer, but have you ever seen Archer?
I love Archer.
Okay, I love Archer too. His butler, who turned out to be like the World War I, he had German scalps, literally. I always figured he was kind of an Alfred. Because A, he survives all the shit Archer does to him, but B, he kind of seems like a badass deep down. Woodward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like... And, yes, Alfred is a very deep character. I'd love to do a standalone Alfred story.
Yeah,
even for a short
I don't
film.
know why people haven't, not even do World War II, but just, why did Alfred come to this family? It seems like a story right to be told.
Right, I don't know if that's ever been depicted. That'd be great. But what questions do you have about Alfred's character? Random person, I'm not speaking to anyone in general.
What's his last name?
Pennyworth.
Thanks.
Franklin?
I think I knew that, I just couldn't think of it.
You don't have any questions about Alfred?
Did Bruce Wayne ever make him eat a bowl of spiders?
Cobwebs. You're gonna eat so many cobwebs.
The episode ends with just...
Oh my god! Oh my god! Woodward. Are we out of Bloody Marys? Sorry.
I just want to say that, like, even though it may seem like it was way too much of a divulgence from what we're doing, and maybe the first half hour of this seemed pointless with arguing about the Nolan thing, I think it was entirely necessary for what we were trying to achieve in this episode and last episode, because we needed somebody to validate, somebody who is extremely passionate about the universe and how it works, to validate everything that we are doing, to say that they understand. And if you are saying that somebody who's loved Batman for 25 years, as you said, if you were saying that we are getting it right better than Christopher fucking Nolan's most recent work,
Well, yeah.
then
That film.
then that's what we need to do.
I'm not going to sit here and say that Batman Begins isn't a masterpiece.
I'm not,
because it is.
I know, I didn't. I was just.
But I think you got, story-wise, purely story-wise, you have got an outline as good as that or Dark Knight. Better than Dark Knight Rises. Because it makes sense to me. and you really care about character development. It's not the fact that, you have Catwoman, I think she's slutty, but, like, she also steals diamonds, and, like, in the movie, I always wanted more about what Catwoman, like, why she did what she did.
Oh, God. I'm imagining her stealing diamonds in a slutty fashion.
Yeah, because the cat suit isn't form-fitting at all. They call it a cat suit. Come on, man.
Well, she uses that to her advantage physically as well.
Well, yeah.
She now has pockets for diamonds.
Well,
Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Yeah, but
Friend with benefits.
I get what you're saying.
There's been about two ways to portray Catwoman. That way, and the Catwoman who's, like, sort of not Batman, but not the anti-Batman either. Like, she has her own reasons for doing this, and while fucked up, she's still trying to do something. And there's also that great thing in, what is it, Dark Knight Returns, where, like, she's the prostitute, not the old prostitute, but when she decides to become Catwoman because she's just so fucking sick of all this shit. It's not Dark Knight Returns. That's
Year One.
Year One.
But
recent movies.
So do you feel like we captured the tone of something along the lines of Mask of the Phantasm?
Yeah,
That's
and that's what I
what-
want.
Yeah, that's what we're going for.
Yeah, okay. I was gonna say that's what I want though. So if you don't want that, you need to change.
No, that's what we wanted from the very beginning.
Yeah.
That's one of our goals.
That movie stands up. Like I'd go see that in a theater if they re-released it.
Yeah.
Oh, so would I.
I've actually watched it in the past 6 months on instant. I mean I also watched Sub-Zero with Mr. Freeze one just because I felt it could be better, but the story about him and his wife is just so sad.
Oh yeah, no, it's
And like Mr. Freeze is a bad guy that I have always like not empathized with, but like I kind of feel bad for him.
Dude, definitely. He's so
Yeah.
tragic.
And that's kind of the beauty of what every Batman villain has turned into is something brilliant, oftentimes beautiful, and always tragic. But that's also Batman is brilliant, beautiful, and tragic. So
And how do our characters hold up compared to the animated series? Like, are they the same character?
you're working off source material that they worked off of. That's how close it is, in my opinion. You're working off the same source. You're working off the same, character sheets almost. That's what I want, though.
That's good. That's what we want too.
I don't.
I'm glad we want the same thing.
I want this to be not like Year One, not like Under the Red Mask, not like Dark Knight Returns. I want this to be, oh shit, someone decided to make another animated series movie.
That
this
is
many years
exactly
later. Okay.
that is exactly what we said. Didn't we
Then
say that in the
fucking
first
do it.
episode? It's
Yes.
just like
Which I
we
listened
want
to
people,
ages ago. but
we want people to mistake this for
we want Warner Brothers to mistake this for something they released.
Did we make this 2 years ago? No.
I mean, we want this to be mistaken for something that Paul Dini and Bruce Timm cobbled together.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Alright, any other notes anyone wants to bring up? Anything?
Franklin, are you going to
Frank-
help Sean draw up some of this stuff?
Repeat
Damn
that
right it
question.
is, because
Is
I
that-
asked you about it
Is that a
before.
sexual joke?
No. Are you
Too bad.
going to
Sorry.
help Sean draw up Batman stuff?
Maybe.
Alright.
Alright, well, I feel like there's no better way to end this episode by me saying, Christian, I was wondering what would break first. Your spirit or your body?